How many times have you told yourself, this is the last time? Deleted her number, blocked her, meant it, and how many days did it last? 3? 5? There's a reason it always breaks around the same point, and it has nothing to do with willpower. You've done this more than once. The last time you made it 3 days, maybe 5. Then something cracked. A song. A photo you forgot to delete. A friend who mentioned her name without knowing what it would do to you. And you went back. You sent the text. She responded. For about 40 minutes, everything was okay again. Then the crash. Worse than before you started, like the floor opened up underneath the relief and took everything with it. But there's a reason you break on day 3 and not day 30. The pattern has a timeline, a peak, and a point where it starts to die. The night your brain fights you the hardest, the night every excuse you've ever made floods back at once, that night is not a sign you should give in. It's the signal that the circuit is about to lose. And if you know what's happening in that moment, you can survive it. If this is landing, hit subscribe. More of this every week. Most men think no contact means not texting her. It doesn't. Every time you watch her story, every time you scroll to her profile just to see if anything changed, every time you check who liked her photo, your brain registers a hit, small, quick, barely enough to feel, but enough to keep the craving alive. The withdrawal clock doesn't count calendar days. It counts time since the last dose. A man who hasn't texted her in 2 weeks, but watches her stories every night, is not 2 weeks into recovery. He's starting over every single night. Real no contact means the supply goes to 0. No texts, no profile, no stories, no checking through a friend's phone, no fake accounts. 0. And when the supply actually hits 0, your body responds the way it responds to any withdrawal. You stop sleeping well, your appetite disappears or goes sideways, your concentration fragments. You feel a tightness you can't locate, a restlessness you can't sit still through. These are not metaphors. These are the physical markers of a reward system that lost its source. Your body is running the same protocol it would run if you quit any substance, because the brain regions involved are the same ones. When the supply actually stops, the process follows a shape. The first 3 days are the floor. Everything is noise. You can't think past her. Your body is running on stress hormones and nothing else. You're not supposed to feel okay here. Nobody does. Around day 7, something shifts. Not in how hard it hits, in how often. The waves hit just as hard, but there are gaps between them now. 10 minutes where you forget, 20 minutes where your mind reaches for something else. Small clearings in the noise. By day 21, the rewiring starts. The pathway that connected her to relief has been starving for 3 weeks, and the brain is beginning to look elsewhere. New routines start taking hold. The old circuit is weakening and the new ones are taking root. Around day 60, most men describe a quiet moment, not a breakthrough, nothing dramatic. They realize they went an entire afternoon without her crossing their mind, not because they tried, because the thought just didn't arrive. Have you ever made it past day 7? Or does it always break before then? Drop that in the comments. There's one night in that timeline that decides everything, and most men break on that night because nobody told them what it actually is. Think about a vending machine. You put your money in, press the button, nothing comes out. You press again, nothing. You press harder, you shake it, you slam the side of it with your palm. That escalation, the spike in intensity right before you walk away, is called an extinction burst. Before a conditioned behavior dies, it gets louder. The brain throws everything it has at the pattern one last time. If the escalation works, the behavior locks in harder than ever. If it doesn't, the behavior begins to collapse. Now think about day 3 at 3 in the morning. You're lying in the dark. The urge to text her is louder than any night before. Every justification is flooding back. Just one message. I just need to know she's okay. I owe her closure. That is the extinction burst. Your brain is slamming the machine one last time. I need you to hear this part. If you send that text, you teach your brain that slamming the machine works. The next time you try, the burst will be louder and longer, because the escalation paid last time. But if you hold through that night, put the phone in another room, go outside, sit on the floor and let it pass, the circuit starts dying. The behavior that screamed the loudest begins to go quiet. And when it goes quiet, when the compulsion loosens, when the loops stop running on their own, something else shows up in the silence. Grief. Not for her, not for the relationship, for the version of her that only existed in your head. The composite your brain assembled from a handful of real moments in a lifetime of wanting. No contact doesn't end a connection. It ends a hallucination. And when the hallucination dissolves, what's left is a space that feels unbearable. Because for months, maybe years, that hallucination organized your mornings, structured your thoughts, gave you a reason to check your phone. If you're tempted to call it one last conversation, that's not closure. That's a relapse dressed as a goodbye. The brain doesn't close loops through contact. It closes them through silence and time. The conversation will reprime the circuit at its most sensitive, and you'll be back at day zero, wondering why it hurts worse than before. Here's what I need you to hold on to. The night you almost sent the text, the night you typed it, deleted it, typed it again, the night every part of you was screaming that you had to. That night was not proof you need her. That was the extinction burst. That was the circuit at its loudest, because it was about to lose. The worst night is the night it starts to end, and you won't know you survived it until the morning after, when you wake up and the urge is still there, but further away, like a sound from another room, instead of inside your head. That's not time healing you. That's a circuit that ran out of supply and started reaching for something else. What was your extinction burst night? Did you hold through it, or did you send the text? Drop it in the comments. If this hit subscribe. The next one goes to the root.